Hello, freshmen. This is Mr. Brysh, and I wanted to talk to you today about life after high school, a little planning. One of your ICAP tasks is called College Costs 9, and so this goes along with that. What I want to talk about is to get you thinking about life after high school, and college specifically this time. So if you are thinking about, whatever career it is, that you kind of understand a little bit about college. I get a lot of questions about college costs, about where to go, about what programs are there, and that sort of thing. So I want to kind of go over some of that stuff today. Okay, so let's get into it. If I can press the button. There we go. So first, I want to, we're focused on costs today. So, I want to talk about the differences between different types of colleges and about how much they cost. So if we look at the chart here, you can see that we've got the type of school here. We've got the degrees that they offer. We've got the estimated yearly in-state cost, and then an estimated yearly out-of-state cost. So if you're an in-state student, say you're a resident of Colorado, like everyone who's listening to this is your cost. If you go out of state to an out-of-state school, this will be your cost. Okay, so there's different types of schools, first of all, right? There are public, career, or technical schools. This is like Pickens Tech that we have in the district, right? They offer certificates, usually. So if you go to Pickens, we're taking Pickens applications right now, for instance, and there's all different kinds of Pickens courses. There are things ranging from cosmetology to auto body mechanic to designing mobile apps for phones. There's veterinary assistant there. There's medical assistant and dental assistant. There's early childhood education. There's all sorts of things that you can get a certificate in at Pickens. And what that does for you is give you like first choice when you go to interview for a job. Like they'll take the Pickens people before they take a non-Pickens trained person because they know the quality of education you get at Pickens. The good part about Pickens too is that you don't necessarily have to pay this at all because you can go to Pickens as an 11th or 12th grader, sometimes even as a freshman or as a sophomore. I mean, like you're a freshman now. So you may not have to pay this at all. You could go to Pickens and get your certificate for free. Also good. The next school that we're going to talk about, or the next type of school that we'll talk about, are public, community, and junior colleges, like the Community College of Aurora. They offer both certificates, like Pickens does, and associate's degrees, 2-year degrees. So you could go to CCA and get a certificate or an associate's degree and then go to work. You could go to CCA and get a certificate or an associate's degree and then transfer to a 4-year school. These ones down here. So different programs require different amounts of education, depending on what you want to do when you grow up. But you can see here they're slightly more expensive than Pickens, but not by much. And just like Pickens, you can go to CCA for free to you. There's grant money that pays for it. So if you would like to take some community college classes, there are 2 students right now in our school that are doing this. One of whom is going to have his associate's degree done by the time he graduates. So that's certainly a possibility for you. So you could get a 2-year degree before you even graduate high school. What that means, though, is that you're taking CCA classes as a junior and as a senior. And the cool thing about that is that they count for college credit and for high school credit. Pretty cool. Then there are public schools, public colleges and universities, and they generally fall under the category of 4-year colleges or universities. And you get a bachelor's degree, which is a 4-year degree. See that right there? They're generally a little more expensive per year than the community college or the junior college. So the average cost is about $10,000. So some are less, some are more. University of Northern Colorado, for instance, where I went to school, go Bears. They're known for teaching, nursing, and business. They're a little bit less than this. A place like the University of Colorado at Boulder or CSU, Colorado State University, they're a little more expensive than this. So it depends on where you go. Then there are private four-year colleges and universities. They are more expensive, as you can see this, because they don't get any money from the state or federal government to help run their schools. They do it totally privately. So they get their money from you paying it, essentially. They offer four-year degrees as well, though. They just cost more. Some people like the idea of going to a private school because if you go to a place like Denver University, DU, the law degree you would get from DU, a lot of people think that that carries a lot of weight, and that you would get hired before somebody who goes to Metro and gets a law degree. So, you know what I'm saying? So you're paying for the name, but, the name is something, DU is a really good school. So I don't know if it's worth it to you, because, what I would decide for myself if I was in your shoes or if I was your parents advising you, each school has its own specialty. Like I said before, UNC is good at teaching and nursing and business. So they also have a pretty good law enforcement kind of track there too. So each school kind of specializes in certain things, but all schools are good. You got to find the right school that's for you. So maybe a private school is for you. They tend to be smaller, so that's a positive thing for the most part. And we're going to talk about paying for these here in a minute. Then the last kind of school is the proprietary, which means for-profit colleges. And you've seen their ads on TV. We're talking like ITT Tech or University of Phoenix, those sorts of schools, right? They give everything from certificates up to bachelor's degrees. They tend to be expensive because they're in it to make money. So it's not like they spend all their money on, new buildings and cool dorm rooms and stuff. No. They spend all their money on advertising and making money, right? So you can see that they're a little more expensive than like the public schools, a little less expensive than the private schools. But there is this warning here, right? Credits do not transfer to other schools. So you couldn't go to University of Phoenix and then try and go somewhere else if you decide you didn't like them, or if you decided that you wanted a different degree. So that is a major warning. So be careful of for-profit institutions because they don't transfer credit. One thing I like to call your attention to is the difference between this column and this column. When you go in-state, it's going to be cheaper. When you go out of state, it's going to be at least double, right? Sometimes triple the price. The exception here is private schools. They don't make a distinction if you're an in-state student or an out-of-state student. They still charge the same. Okay, now there's different, when you go to college, there are different categories of things that you would spend this money on. So, if they say that, where's my mouse? If they say that, the college costs $10,000, they're talking about tuition, this part, the cost of just the classes, and that can go from relatively cheap, $2,300 per year, to pretty expensive, 45 grand per year. That's a lot of money. You also, if you go and live at the school, pay a room and board. You pay for a room and you pay for meals, right? It's the cost of living on campus. So a cheap school would be $2,300 plus $7,000. Well, cheap, we'll say cheap, It's not exactly cheap, but that's what it is. And then there's fees, right? They range anywhere from $200 per year to $4,000 per year, and they use the fees to help pay for a bunch of cool things at the school. Like for instance, you can take your student ID and get into all the sports games for free or at a reduced cost. I mean, you've already paid the fee for it, you pay an athletic fee, and you can go to any of the games you want. You can take your ID and you can go to, there's going to be a gym and workout area at any school that's going to look nicer than, any place you've probably ever been, because they usually are pretty sweet looking. You can take your ID and go there and work out, play basketball, racquetball, go swimming, whatever you want to do there, as many times as you want. That's what the fees are for, parking and stuff like that. Then there's books. So books, you have to buy a textbook for every class you have, right? So the books themselves can be pretty expensive, looking at $1,000 per year, like $500 a semester is a pretty good average. And so here are a couple of common schools that people might go to around here. And this is like all the tuition plus the room and board, if there is any, plus the fees. So if you go to University of Colorado at Boulder, it's going to be $25,000 a year, essentially. And then you have to pay for your books. If you go to the University of Colorado at Denver, you pay a little less than $10,000. Most people don't stay at the University of Colorado at Denver. They drive into the city to go to it, or they take the light rail or whatever, ride their bikes. So most people don't do the room and board. At the University of Denver, if you decide to go to DU, they do have a great hockey team. You pay about $50,000, a little over that. And if you went to the Community College of Aurora, before books, it would cost you about $3,100 and $3,200. Let's round up, right? So as you can see, college costs depend on where you go. And I'm sure all of you are thinking that they're pretty expensive. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. But one way to cut some of the college costs is by doing some college stuff while you're still in high school. So one thing you could do is sign up for Pickens, right? And go to Pickens. They'll give you certifications like I was talking about before that will allow you to go out into the workforce, and you can take the certification. You can show it, when you're getting your interview for your job, and you can say, hey, I was trained at Pickens. And the employer's going to go, you were? Oh, well, let's hire you, And he's going to pick you, the employer is going to pick you over somebody who's not trained at Pickens. So it makes you much more employable. Then there's college classes you can take, like I was talking about before, from CCA, the Community College of Aurora. This could save you potentially thousands of dollars, right? Because, if you were going to the University of Colorado for 4 years, we're talking about $100,000, right? If you go to the Community College of Aurora for 2 of those years, we're talking about $6,000, and then you transfer to the University of Colorado Boulder, you've saved yourself $20,000, $40,000, right? $20,000 each year. That's worth it, isn't it? It might be. In order to take college classes as a high school student, you have to do one of 2 things. You have to get high ACT scores, or if you don't get high enough ACT scores, you can take the AccuPlacer test. Those of you who aren't in 11th grade who are going to be doing this, like everybody watching this video, for instance, you can take the AccuPlacer now, and then when it comes time for you to, maybe be in a college class, you can just go right into it because you've already taken the AccuPlacer. You don't have to worry about your ACT scores, right? So the AccuPlacer test is computerized. We do it over at Aurora West College Preparatory Academy. It's like down the street here from Central, 5 minutes away. And basically the goal of taking the AccuPlacer test is it'll give you a whole bunch of options to choose from for classes at CCA. And then you can decide, there's some classes that you can go take at CCA. There's some classes that you can take as a high school student right here with us, like Intro to Business, for instance. Then there's the Ascent program. So let's say you're going to the Community College of Aurora and you want to get your 2-year degree. Remember, community colleges give associate's degrees, right? You want this, but you've only done enough classes for half of the associate's degree. Well, that's okay. What we can offer you is the Ascent program. So if you've taken some college classes, 12 college credits is, about 4 college classes, 3 or 4 college classes, depending on which classes you take. So if you've taken 3 or 4 by the time you're a senior, we will hold your diploma. You'll be done with high school because you have graduated high school, but we'll hold your diploma and you can go to CCA for free for an extra year and finish up your um, associate's degree. And then you can take that and you can go right into the workforce. You could take that and go to a different college because it'll transfer. This is the reason why I'm talking about college. And even though you might think college is expensive, the reason why people do it is because of this. See here? Here is a bachelor's degree, right? This is a 4-year degree. The reason why people go to college is because, you get a bachelor's degree, on average, you're going to be making $53,000 a year. And these are a couple of years. Look, this is like from 2000, so 2014 now. This has definitely gone up, right? Even if you went to CCA and got an associate's degree, right? You're going to make more than you would just out of high school. Here's a high school graduate, right? Dropping out is going to give you like $22,000 a year, So you're not going to have that much earning power over your lifetime, Just graduating high school makes it so that you're going to earn, around $30,000 a year on average, right? If you take some college, now we're up to $38,000 a year. When you have an associate's degree, we're at 39. When you have a bachelor's, though, we're at 53, right? So the difference between going to college and not going to college is huge. You get almost double the money for going to college. That's why, even though college is expensive, that it's, for the most part, a worthwhile investment. You're investing in yourself. Credit card debt, that's bad kind of debt, But student loan debt is not necessarily bad because, all the teachers that probably did all of their schooling through loans. So they had the debt. I paid my debt off, before I was 30. That's why I'm in my master's program now, because I was done paying off my debt. Hey, let's go get some more debt. But see, when I have my master's degree, look how much more I'll get paid, And that's the reason why you invest in yourself. That's the reason why you go to college. Right? You want a job that's going to be interesting and work with your mind, right? You want a job that's going to, make sure that you have a nice life and a nice, comfortable life, with a house and some cars and vacation time and that sort of thing, right? That's why you go to college, is for that kind of life. All right, guys. So I'm sure people will have questions about this. So let me know when you're in the classroom, when you're doing this, say you're doing it at home at night and you have a question about this chart, shoot me an email or give me a call or a text and I'll help explain. Let's talk about what to do with this information now because you still have to complete a survey for this task to be done. So let's go look at what survey you need to do. Okay, so after you've logged into Naviance, what you do is you go to My Planner, and you go to Tasks Assigned to Me, the purple button, and you do College Costs 9. You're going to complete the survey. The survey is pretty quick, it's 6 questions, and you're going to choose, what do you think the average annual cost for a community college is? Look at the charts. What's the average cost for a public school? Look at the charts. Right? What's the average annual salary for someone who doesn't graduate from college? Look at the chart. Okay, and then take a look around there and answer the thing, and then you hit submit answers and you are done. Remember though that your all of your ICAP tasks, everything in my planner here, your tasks assigned to me, these all have to be done before you can register for next year. So we're going to start registration in April, so make sure that you've done all this stuff so that you are ready to go when registration comes around and you can be the first person to pick your classes. Okay? All right, everybody, let me know when there are questions, call, text, email, whatever is easiest for you. All right, guys, take care, and I'll talk to you soon.